Hey Familia, Igni here, and there's some more Omen of the 10 cards revealed this morning. I'm doing this right before I go cast the SEAO Shadowverse Open Unlimited Cup, so kind of in a rush, but let's just talk through them. So, Servant of Disdain, the 2 play point 2/2 bronze for Dragoncraft here. Whenever this follower takes damage, if this follower is not destroyed, draw a card. I think out of the Disdain package that was revealed for Dragoncraft, this is probably the weakest of the bunch. The effect requires it to survive, but it has the stat line of a normal 2-drop, so I think in the majority of cases, this is just going to get destroyed without proccing its effect, unless you're going up against a bunch of 1/1s. Seems like an edge case, and I think this is more or less just a filler for the pack. Moving on to the silver here, we have the Disciple of Disdain, the 1 play point 1/1 here for Dragoncraft. Again, part of the Disdain package, which is what the Omen is themed around. Fanfare, deal 1 damage to another allied follower and draw a card. Doesn't activate if no other allied followers are in play. I think this card is extremely powerful. Not only is it an aggressive statted card for Dragoncraft that's cheap, but it synergizes with the rest of the Omen package, and it draws you a card, which plays right into the whole aggressive strategy thing. And again, because it synergizes with the other Omen cards as well, this has a lot of applications in Dragoncraft. Not only can you just run it in a straight up aggro deck, but you can run it in a Disdain themed deck. And it works really well with the next card that we're showing here, the gold, the Apostle of Disdain, 4 play point 1/5 with Storm, so you know it's good. Whenever this follower takes damage, if this follower is not destroyed, gain +2/+0. So it's a 4 play point card with 5 defense, which is extremely sturdy, so it can go face and then keep going, building up damage along the way. And again, it synergizes with that silver we showed previously, dealing damage to this thing, drawing you a card, increasing the stats of this, and letting you go face. And it's on the evolve turn as well. So if you're going second and you're playing aggressive, you're not completely behind, because you get to evolve this early and just hit them straight in the face. So I think they're really making aggressive Dragoncraft decks make a comeback with this. And this card just seems extremely powerful and has a lot of different use cases. And it also synergizes well with the Legendary of the Disdain package, the Omen here. Galmieux, Omen of Disdain, and this might straight up be the strongest 5-drop in rotation right now. It's a 5 play point 5/5, which is already overstated for its cost. Fanfare, enhance 7, deal 1 damage to all followers. Whenever this follower takes damage during your turn, if this follower is not destroyed, evolve it. And then the evolve effect here doesn't gain any stats, but whenever this follower takes damage, if this follower is not destroyed, deal 3 damage to a random enemy follower, and 3 damage to the enemy leader. So you can play this on 5 as a 5/5, and that's pretty alright. Not the best use case for it. You can play it on 6 with the silver, and that's incredible, because then this evolves. Then you can trade it with another enemy follower. It destroys another enemy follower, and then it does a free demonic strike to the opponent's face, which is just incredible on 6. Or on 7, if you don't have the silver in hand, you can just do all of that stuff anyway, because the enhance effect here also procs on herself and the other Omen cards that have been revealed so far, such as that Apostle, that 4 play point Storm card. So this is just so nutty, and the fact that it can do like 2, 3, 4 for ones while dealing damage to the opponent's face and giving you a free evolve, essentially, makes this like the cornerstone, I think, of Disdain-based decks, and I think it's just extremely powerful in general. So if they're going to push an archetype, this is one way to do it. Other than the Disdain package for Dragoncraft, though, 3 more cards revealed on IGN. Let's take a look at the first one here. A silver card, the Dark Elemental for Bloodcraft, 4 play point 4/4 silver follower. I've noticed that they're going kind of aggressive on the stat lines lately. They've been really good and above board here. Usually for 4 play points, the vanilla stat line would be a 3/4, but now we got a 4/4, we got a 5/5 for 5, just we saw previously. The other classes are getting 3/3s for 3. So it looks like the power level is sort of bumping up a little bit. But regardless, the effect is that Fanfare, if an allied follower was destroyed this turn, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower. Last words, deal 4 damage to your leader if Vengeance is not active for you. I believe this is one of the first Vengeance cards we see in the set. It's exciting. I think this card is on paper good, but in a constructed deck, it's going to be a bit more difficult to find a place for it exactly. The Fanfare effect is sort of a tad too conditional for my taste. Like, you need to have a board to stake, and then you have to sacrifice it, and you're only doing 2 damage, which doesn't really go over 3 play point 3/3s like we keep seeing in this set, 2 play point 1/3s as well. So it's not the best thing in the world. Again, the stat line is very nice, but the last words here, while it can act as a Vengeance activator, it's a bit too inconsistent because you can't control it exactly, and then of course it can always get banished as well. So I think this card is an okay card, but it's just hard to find a place for it in constructed. We'll have to see what other Vengeance tools that Bloodcraft gets going forward. The next silver card from the IGN reveals here is the Armored Troll, 7 play point 8/7, can only attack the enemy leader, ignore enemy followers ward. This is like the personification of Smork. It even is the right fantasy troll kind of Smork guy. I think this is just a big beat stick that doesn't really have a place in rotation. It's just way too easily removable and doesn't do anything the turn it comes out, so it's just a giant guy. Seems like a take-two card more than anything else. And finally, the last IGN reveal here is the Calamity Bringer, the second Bloodcraft Legendary besides the Omen, 7 play point 7/4, fanfare, randomly destroy 3 other followers, deal 7 damage to your leader if Vengeance is not active for you. And the evolve effect here, it gains full evolve stats, and if Vengeance is active for you, randomly deal 1 damage to a leader or other follower 9 times. So this one seems, it's hard to judge this one just because there's a lot of randomness in this card. Looking at it straight up, it seems like a gigantic body that has this removal effect. If you're playing tall, if you build your Bloodcraft deck to play tall and not wide, which is something a little different for Bloodcraft in rotation lately, since a lot of the Bloodcraft decks in rotation now are, going wider with aggressive Bloodcraft bat decks, which I think might make a comeback in the new expansion. But if you're playing tall and you're not going to have a lot of followers on board, oh, and I suppose this fits in like a Jormungand deck kind of goes tall as well, hey. But what I mean to say is that in general, if you're just going tall, this is a lot better than if you're going wide because you're a lot less likely to hit your own followers and you're just going to hit the enemy's stuff, which makes the fanfare of this extremely impactful. It becomes an almost Themis with a 7/4 body. The deal 7 damage to your leader if Vengeance is not active for you is a little sketchy, but if you're looking for a Vengeance activator that doesn't require an evolve, then this might be what you're looking for, even though it's a little risky. The reason being that Narumaya, which is the prime Vengeance activator in rotation right now, requires an evolve point, and it's not all that consistent because of that. So this might be something that you tech in if you really want to play pure Vengeance in rotation, and not just something like Jormungand, which I don't think this necessarily fits in. The evolve effect, though, if Vengeance is active for you, randomly deal 1 damage to a leader or other follower 9 times. That's a bit of a clown fiesta, honestly, because again, it can deal damage to your leader as well. Deal 1 damage to a leader or other follower 9 times. I'm not sure if it selects one target and then deals 9 damage to it 9 times, or 1 damage to it 9 times, or if it's 9 damage randomly distributed. Not entirely sure what the mechanics behind that are, but either way, that seems very inconsistent, I think. And it's hard to make that effect really work. What you could do in Unlimited, though, is play like a Calamity Bringer to clear the board, and then you can play like a Demon Commander Laura, because Calamity Bringer plus Laura is 10 play points in Unlimited, so you can have a remove 3 and then 7 damage Storm Follower out of that deal. But I think this card is... It has the potential to be powerful if you build your deck tall and build around it, but it's just hard to judge because it's so random and inconsistent. Anyway, that's it for the Omen of the 10 card reveals so far today. I'm sure that they're going to drop a few more as soon as I stop the record button on this recording, as is tradition. But regardless, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like the video if you did. Don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content and Omen of the 10 hype in the very near future. And of course, thank you to my wonderful patrons, patreon.com/Ignideus. If you'd like to support the channel as well, I would highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.